All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek. I'll be teaching you how to operate Microsoft Excel today. And what we first start off with is we just click on Start, and then what you can do is you just type Excel, EXC, etc., and will actually already show me that I can open it up. Just press and Enter, and I'll start up the program. Okay, so there we go. I want to start off with just opening up a new field, so I just click on there, and then I've got my Excel sheet opened. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at an empty sheet with a lot of different cells in here. And this is cell A1 selected. And if I just move one to the right, then I've got B1 selected. And I can also just move down over there. And then I've got C7 selected. So every time I've got two different coordinates for a cell. And that's the way we're also going to be actually communicating within Microsoft Excel in a short bit. Now, the very first thing I want to do is I want to just start typing a little bit of text in cell A2. So I'll just go towards A2, A and then 2 over there, and I will start typing something like, for instance, student. There we go. And press and Enter, and what you will see is I'll also just go to a new cell over there. I want to start in A3 by just typing 1, press Enter, then I've got 2, press Enter, I've got 3, etc. Now what I can do right now, and this is very neat, what Excel can do is it can predict what you should have in the next cells. And the way to do it is I just click on my left mouse button on this cell A3 with the number 1 in it, and I click and drag and I go down. And now what I've done is I've selected multiple cells. So I just click with my left mouse button, keep it pressed, and click and drag it down, and then I've got this entire selection. And what I now can do is I just go towards this little box over here, this green little box to the bottom right, click on it, and then drag it all the way down, and then what you will see, it will automatically kind of respond to your situation. And I'll just go down a little bit more. Let's say I want to go until, I'll just go until cell 30, something like that. Then I've got the same amount as in the example you've got in the assignment. Okay, so I've done this right now. I'm letting Microsoft Excel predict the values it needs to have, and that's that. I could also, for instance, do it for the month and a year, and then say this is the 2nd of January, etc., the 3rd of January. Now it will also predict the upcoming values as well. If we just click and drag it down, I'll do the same kind of stuff. But that's not really the point for now. I just wanted to show you that you can predict the next cells. Okay, now just deleted that. I want to go to assignment 2. I want to change the width of my cell. But first of all, I just want to start typing in cell B1 total amount of points. So total points over here. And what I see is that this text right now is a little bit bigger than the actual cell. What I can see if I just click on it, the text is sticking out a little bit. So what I need to do to make sure that this actually works out, I need to just click and drag this a little bit to the right. And I do this between B and C. This line over here, if I click and drag it, I can make it as big as I want or as small as I want. I want to just at least make sure that I've got all of the text in there. Now this is a neat feature because then it means that I can actually make everything a little bit bigger as I see fit. And what I can also do is I can also just double click on this border between B and C, and then it will automatically take the width for the text of the biggest cell. So just double click here and double click again. There we go. Now I did it right. Okay, so there we see it. We have now actually changed the width of the cell again as well. So what I want to do right now, I'll go to cell C1, type 30 over here, because now it means that the total amount of points I could get for this test, or whatever it might be, is 30. Okay. Now I want to go to the next thing. I want to actually just add text over here that says points. Let's go to this cell over here and I say that this has to be grade, and then I'll just choose some random numbers between 0 and 30. So I just start off with, let's say this person didn't score very well. He only had 5 of 30 points. This one did very well, 29 points. Let's say 26, 22, just random numbers. It doesn't really matter. Just want you to choose anything there. So just go through it very quickly and see if Excel will automatically respond to this as well. What will it do? What will it do? It's doing all kinds of weird stuff. I don't want that. I'm just going to try and get some random numbers. So this one scored very well, 10 points, 15 points, 12 points, 18 points, 19 points, 13 points. I'm just randomly generating some numbers here myself. Just keep on going. And then 25. Okay, so this is representing the amount of points someone has scored for a certain set. So student 1 only scored 5 points, student 10 scored 30 points, and that's just about it. Now what I want to do right now is I want to work with a formula. Now just be careful when you're working with a formula. You have to be strict in what you type. It has to be precisely what I'm typing right now. I will say is something, and this equal sign, this is sign, is indicating Excel that I have to work with a formula right now. And so what I do is I just start off by saying, well, I want the first point of the grade to be free, and then you can earn the rest of the 9 points. And I want them to be divided by the total amount of points available. Okay, so I get 1 grade for free, 1 point of this grade for free, plus 9, which is earned by the points to the cell just left of it. I want to divide by the total amount of points available. And I can divide by that number over there. I just clicked on that cell, or I could even type it. I could also type C1, would also work, completely fine. But then this will eventually cause a problem, which you might look up later. You're just going to get the explanation right now how to do it correctly in one shot. We want the dollar signs actually attached to it. So dollar sign, and then we've got C, and then we've got another dollar sign, and then we've got a 1. And then we want to multiply this by, so I use this little star figure, this asterisk, and I want to multiply it by the points you have got on the left. And so if I just press on enter right now, it will actually just do this equation. It will solve this logical problem. It will add 1 to 9 divided by 30 and then multiply it by 5. So just press an enter, and there we see. So this person scored a 2.5. Okay, that's not a very good grade, let's be honest about it. Now what I could do is I could just go towards the cell, right mouse button, and then I say copiëren for copying that cell. Then I go down 1, and then I could also just say paste it in here. Sorry, I just pasted it with Ctrl V, that's a little bit easier. And now what it did is it pasted everything into the cell down below. And I'll also be able to do it with Ctrl C, go over there, Ctrl V over there, and you pasted your things in there as well. Now let's imagine I want to grab all of these cells and I want them to automatically add themselves down below. Now if I release this button, it will do the same equation everywhere. Now there is one thing that's not changing, or actually, well, this entire part of the formula, I should say. This entire part of the formula is unchanging, but the only thing that is changing is the value with the B coordinate. So you see B20 right now in the formula at the top over here. If I just go down 1, I've got B21, go down 1 more, B22. So as you can see, this dollar sign is kind of fixing this cell into position. It's not changing along. But this one is changing alongside of this cell as well. So if this one goes down, this B coordinate also will go down as well. This dollar sign is making sure that it doesn't change position. Okay. Now with that being said, we have now seen that we can work with formulas. We can let Excel automatically calculate all kinds of stuff. We have seen that we can also change the width of cells, and we've also seen that we can let Excel kind of predict what is going on in the next cells if we just click on this button and drag it all the way down. Okay, so there we go. Now the next thing I want to go over is I want you to see that we can also use different kinds of functions. And I will just go down a little bit over here, and I will start typing, for instance, max. And this would be the max value I'm finding in this entire column. I also want to have the minimum value found. I also want to have the average value found. And so what I could do is I could start a function by saying equals something. And I want to know the maximum value of all of these numbers in here. Now, if you would go looking for it by yourself, it would take you quite a long time, and then eventually you would see, oh, this is the maximum value. But could we let Excel look for the maximum value itself? Yes, we can. What we just have to do is we have this equal sign, that means that we're starting off with a kind of like a formula with a function, and we start typing max. This is one of the functions Excel would actually give me. And so what I have to do then is I just start off with a round bracket, and then I just click and drag all of these cells down here, and then it will look up the maximum value. If I just have the final bracket closing it off and press an enter, you will see it automatically finds 30 as the maximum value, because that's true. 30 is the maximum value over here. Now I can also do it for the minimum. I start with an equal sign, type min for finding the minimum value, and then I just open up with a round bracket, click and drag all of these cells, finish it off with a closing bracket, press an enter, and you would see that the minimum value found is 5. And this is true, because if we look for it, this is the minimum value we could find. If I would even make this a little bit lower, let's say this person only scored, let's say 4 points, then you'll see multiple things changing. You will first of all see that the grade is changing because this is automatically calculated, and you will also see that the minimum value found in this entire column is also changing. So let's say I've got 4 points earned by student 1. I press on enter, it will automatically say that now this person has only scored a 2.2. Poor soul. And now we've also seen that the minimum value found in this entire column is 4. Now we can also do the same thing for calculating the average. Well, in the assignment you could see that you should look it up on Google, but for the people that are paying close attention now, I want to quickly show you. You would just use an equal sign. You will type in Dutch, because this is the Dutch version of Excel. You will type gemiddelde, open up with the round bracket, select all of the cells you want to have the average for, and off with the round bracket, and done. So here we can see that the average score by these students in this class is 19.1 points out of 30. Okay. Now, what I could also do is I could do the same thing for the grade. And so I just go for equal sign, and then I've got maximum value found. Start off by just opening up with a round bracket, selecting everything, closing with a round bracket, and then I want to do the same thing for the minimum found. I just click and drag once again. There we go. And then we do the same for the average. So we type gemiddelde, click and drag everything once again, close it off with a round bracket, and there we go. So the average scored by this class is 7.73, blah, blah, blah. Right, so there is one more thing which I want to show you. That's assignment 5. That's the conditional formatting, which basically means voorwaardelijke opmaak. What you would have to do for that is you need to go into Google, and I want you to find it out for yourself, because I also find it important that you're able to look stuff up. If you're stuck, sure, that can happen, but you should be able to solve it yourself. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good luck. I hope you've learned something from this video. You can calculate a lot of stuff automatically, and now I want you to redo this kind of an assignment yourself. Good luck.